data type. Thank you. I'll take that class again. So we started with that our learning objective for today is preparing your data for analysis. How do we prepare our data? Because for you to get great results in your analysis, you have to use great data. And using great data entails that you prepare your data right. And we're saying that the first rule to preparing your data for analysis is to consider and ensure that each column is a field of data. It's not mixed fields that you have within one field. What do I mean by that? Okay, so if we're looking at this particular data set, and you look through each of the columns, okay, I've got other dates highlighted now. So this is a date field. I do not expect to find anything that doesn't look like date within this column, okay? So that is very important. This is a year field. I do not expect anything that doesn't belong to the data type or field that you use for this year. Okay, this is a product name is a text field. Okay, so I expect everything here to be a text, everything within this column to be a text. Sales, profit, these two are numeric fields. Okay, so which means for numbers, for numeric field, if I look through and scroll down here, I shouldn't be finding anything that's of text, like ABC, or special characters that are not relevant to numeric or data. I shouldn't be finding it there. Okay, so and channel, we can see is a text field as well. That this is meaning all of it should be text that you find within that column. So you will look through each of your column, and one column should not be having different types of data type within the same column. That's your first rule to ensuring that you have a great data to work with. And the second rule is about your column names. Okay, you want to use meaningful column names within your data. Okay, column names that would, when you finish creating your report, that would make sense to you or whoever is looking at it. For example, other dates, it tells us straight away that this is the dates that the orders were made. Of course, year is just saying year. Maybe a better name for year would be other year, okay? Because this year could be year for anything, okay? So that could be something that throws you off that, okay, this year, well, what year, is it year that orders were delivered, or year that orders were made, or years that, what year is it? So just naming it year is not nailing it down enough, is what I'm saying here. Although if we look at the correlation between the data and the year, we can see that this year is derived from what we can see so far from the date. So it's safe to say this is order year, okay? Order quantity already tells us that the quantities that were ordered. Then cost of sales, how much it cost us to get it. And then sales. See, cost of sales and sales. Again, that can be confusing, to someone. You're saying cost of sales. Are you saying cost price? Is that what that is? And this is the sales price that you got from it. Okay. So this is where naming your column is really important, so that when you create the report, there won't be too much questioning. Nothing is confusing, as it relates to the name of the columns that you are showing us. And the next rule is that we should see each row as a record of data. That's rule number 3. Each row is a record of data. What does that even mean? Let's go back into that data set. Okay. Now, if you look at row 2, okay, on the 16th of May 2019, okay, 9 quantities of this cost sales, the total sales price is this, and the profit we made from it is this, okay, and this order was placed in the store, and the products that was bought is this Contoso SLR camera M143 gray is the product, and the manufacturer of the product is Contoso Limited, and the brand name of that product is Contoso. Product subcategory that it belongs to is digital SLR cameras. Product category is cameras, under cameras and camcorders. This happened in the region Europe, and the city where it happened, where the order was made, is Moscow, in Russia. So that whole row gives us one record of order that was recorded, one record. So each row is treated as a record. Another, the third, number 3, that's another record. Number 4, that's another record. Number 5, that's another record. Okay. So you're looking through each of your rows. Each row should be a complete record, of one particular order in this case, because we are having order, we are having the sales data. Okay, that's rule number 3. Okay. Rule number 4 is that we should only have raw data within our data set. Within the data set that you want to load to work on, it should just be the raw data. You shouldn't be having totals or subtotals, because then when you load in and bring everything in, you'll be double counting. Within your data set, you would already have had totals. And then because you've loaded the totals and subtotals into the data, all of that you'll be having, if your total was maybe 3,000, which means after you have loaded, you will be treating your total in the end as 6,000, and that would be wrong. Let's look at how that might play out here. So if I scroll down, this should be how many rows of data. So if I scroll down, about 15,000.
Yeah, 15,000.
Yes, about 15,000 rows. So below here, what we're saying with that rule is that we shouldn't be having, well, you have other quantity, you see. On this row, we shouldn't be having total, and then the total for profit, the total for cost of sales, the total for sales, the total for profit. Those should not be within this data set that you want to load. If it was there already, you have to eliminate it, because then you get double the result. For example, if I'm loading this into Power BI, okay, that last row that's been calculated as total, or any subtotal within the data set somewhere in there, they have to go before you start your analysis. Okay, and I think the last rule would be about your data types, of course. Okay. So, and I believe that we mentioned data types a little bit within the course of talking. Okay. And what has data type, got to do with things? Okay. If you're using Excel for your analysis, if I click on here, for example, and I go on home, okay, this, we can see that has been highlighted as date already within your the bar here, okay, under home. So that's column is already seen as date, which is good. Okay. Now, if that was not the case, there will be a problem when you are needing to maybe work around maybe month, day, quarter, functions like that if you need that. And Excel or Power BI or whichever tool is not seeing this field as a date field, it won't give you the result as you desire it, you know. And the same goes for numbers as well. If it's a numeric field, then you should make sure your data type is showing it as numeric. In this case, it's saying general. It shouldn't be general, it should be number. Okay. Um, and you can decide to get rid of the decimal places if you don't want it. Okay, but number is the right one there. The same goes for cost of sales, sales, profits, those are numeric fields. Okay. And like we said before, it should be one field name for everything that is within a column. Okay. For texts are pretty much always straightforward. The only problem we could have with text field is if you have extra spaces somewhere. For example, for the first store, we can see in the formula bar that there's no extra space, either before or after. Okay. So if, for example, I then put this extra space here, to the ordinary eye, this store, the first one and the second one are the same. But the computer is not going to agree with you. It was because this has got an extra character. Okay, so those two are not the same. If I go into here, store should appear. Yeah, store should appear twice, if not even more than twice here. Let's see. Okay, it's appearing once. I'm expecting to see two stores here, with that change that I just made. Because that's what you would get. That's one of the ways to know, that you've got extra space in one of your spellings. Okay. So it's always necessary to go into to just, if you are within Power BI, or Power Query, where it's so easy. I don't even bother to see if there is an extra space or not. I just go on and trim, trim or clean to remove that extra space. Okay, that's majorly the problem you would have with text field. Apart from that, they are normally generally straightforward to use. Product name is text field as well. I think that's the major field types, data types, that we'll need to deal with. Numeric field, date field, text field. There are others, but those are the major general ones, that we'll need to deal with. So ensuring, that all of that is conformed, well stated out, would make your data ready for analysis, as well. Okay. I intend for us to do this exercise within Power BI. I believe we've done it in the past in Excel. Okay. So we'll load it into Power BI, and we will look through the questions. Okay. Apart from you now preparing your data for analysis. Okay. In the course of preparing your data for analysis, you are interacting with the data and getting to understand what it is about. For the few times that we've had to refer to this data set, seen other dates, we've seen other quantity. So we already know this is a sales data. We can see, so you're just trying to make sense of what it's about. We can see that it's about products that have been ordered in a store, okay, in a store or online within a business. We can see the manufacturers of the products, the brand names. We can see, okay, we can see all sorts of information. Okay, we can see the region, city, country, location information on where the orders were made, and the different information on products. Okay, look, going by what we a little class activity going by what we learned last week. We were talking about which part of your data is facts and which is lookup or dimension. Okay, we said something about if we refer back to our this, we said dimension. Yeah. Now dimension is about identity. Let me look for, yes. Okay. Dimension, which is lookup, they are descriptive. They are for descriptive context. They give context, to the business. Okay. For example, if you look within a data set, you look for anything that describes who. If there's a customer information or employee information or other stakeholders in there that you could answer the question who within your data set, that's part of the data is dimension. Okay. So if we go into this data set now and we look through, is there any column here that we could put who to that could answer the question who? Could it?
The manufacturer.
Thank you. The manufacturer. Yes. Although the
I
name
also
here,
think the brand name too. I think they are the same.
brand name is for the product. So that brand name would answer what? It's also dimension. It would answer what? Manufacturer would answer who? Brand name would answer what? Because brand, product subcategory, product name, they are all around the products, and that's a what. Okay. So manufacturer can answer who. We don't have customer information on here at all. That would have been a perfect example as well. Okay. And we have where. Okay. Is there a location information on this data set of ours that could answer where?
Oh yes, we have. That would be region,
Yes, region, city,
city and country.
and country. Thank you. So those are location location information, and they are also dimension. So we can see these last three columns are dimension, product subcategory, product, brand name, and the product name. Those four are what they are what the business is selling is about. So those are also dimension. Manufacturer is a who, although who in this case is names of businesses, but yes, manufacturers here is also dimension. Okay. And is there any other thing here that who yes, is there any other column here that could fit into dimension that I haven't really pointed out yet? Who can spot? I see two already, or three.
Date.
Thank you. Yes, the dates. The other dates. Date is dimension. Because please mute if you are not talking. The dates is dimension because it answers the question of when. When did this business happen? Okay, and there's one last one, which seems to be squeezed in somewhere there. I see it beside product name.
What channel?
Yes, channel is also a dimension because it's telling us how did the business happen? Was it done in store or online? Okay, so channel is also a dial. Okay, we have more than I was only seeing store and online, but we've got catalog, we've got reseller as well, within that channel. Okay, it was a screenshot of this that we had for practice, I didn't even realize it. The screenshot of this, we had it for practice last year. Yes. last week. Yeah, it's the screenshot. But we now have the actual data to play around with. Okay. So the learning objective for today was preparing your data for analysis. Okay. And we went by about 4 or 5 rules. Okay. And the rules were rule number 1, each column is a field of data. In each column, we should not be having a mixture of text, dates, and number in just one column. One column should be telling us one data type. Okay. Then we said rule number 2, our column names should be meaningful enough. Somebody sees it, it should tell them exactly what it is. Not that we'll be wondering, this year, is it for other year or what? Okay. Then we said rule number 3, each row is a record of data. So which means we shouldn't be having missing information within each of the rows. Okay. We should have complete record. Okay. So you're watching out for missing data as well. Okay. And we said that we should only have raw data within our data sets. Within your data set, there should be no totals or subtotals, which could double your result when you're maybe summing or counting. So we should watch out and remove those before we start to analyze. And the last piece is that we should look at the different data type has its own possible problem. Okay, sometimes some date fields, it could be that the date is being loaded not as UK dates, maybe as US dates. You know, Power BI does that rubbish a lot, and you have to look for how to reset it to the right type of date. Okay. It could be that maybe one of the dates is skewed. Maybe there's space in one of the dates, and the whole column is not wanting you to change them to data type dates. Okay, so you will want to look through and see which of these values here is not conforming to the date field and giving me problem. Okay, and the same goes for text field. We said text field, the major problem we have with text field is extra space. Maybe from the start of your word, or in the middle or at the end. Okay, so how do you get rid of trailing spaces? We normally call those types of spaces. And for numbers, having a text somewhere in the middle there, okay, could make it not want you to change that column to a numeric field. Again, when that happens, you have to start playing a detective role and looking for which of these values there is making everything go off for me. Let me sort it out and correct it. Okay, so we don't get to filter anything out anyhow. We look for how to resolve so that we are not filtering out necessary information that should go into our analysis. Okay, and from all of that we've done, we've identified which of this particular data set, what dimensions are there, and we didn't say about the facts. The fact side of things, of course, would be the cost of sales, the order quantity, the KPIs. Okay, order quantity would be part of our facts, cost of sales, sales profits. Okay, those are the numerics, the metrics that we'll use to measure the business capabilities or performance. Yes, key performance indicators. Okay, and the total number of orders, which is the total number of rows, as well. Not order quantity, but orders themselves that were placed. Okay. So that will sum up what I really set out for us to do today. Because if we remember from our slide, data analytics life cycle if we take it down to data analytics life cycle, we say that our objective, you want to understand the business question, and of course, you want to understand the data. I think more like we were dealing more with the data today. We haven't really dealt with the objective. I did put both files into on our data platform there. Okay. So tomorrow we'll look more at the objective. What problem does this business have that they need a dashboard for? Okay. There's a Word document, which we will look at tomorrow by the grace of God. So this business is asking us to develop key metrics, which are the KPIs for the business. They want to look at performing comparison analysis. We need to compare which product category has the highest sales or which country has the lowest sales. We need to compare within the data set. Okay, like I said, for this project, we'll be using Power BI. In the past, I believe we've used Excel to look at this. It would be really very rich if, you can also do this exercise within Excel. So being able to use both tools to solve the problem is, I believe, will just nail everything down for us, okay? So tomorrow we go back to objective. Remember we said the process of analyzing data is an agile process. It's not like you've got everything set in stone. You can move between steps, okay? Today, we were understanding the data and preparing it, looking at the rules around preparing the data. Okay, we didn't necessarily look at for any problem within the data today. So tomorrow, I believe we will be looking at the objective as well as looking at if we have any serious data problem within that data set. If we can take our time, to look through and make sense of things before tomorrow, so that when you come tomorrow, it will just make the class really flow well. I think that would be helpful, as well. Do we have any question tonight? Is there any part of tonight's class that's not too clear? Okay, so I'm hoping that we did a screenshot of this, of today's learning objective, which is this. If not, I think it would be helpful for you to screenshot this particular, maybe just snip it, this particular slide. Okay, I think it would be helpful to snip it and then have it as part of your record. I've only just inserted it in this evening, actually. Right.
Please, are we not going to can we not have the slides itself?
That's a good question. I'll think about it if I want to release
Okay,
it.
thank you.
I'll think about it. Yeah. Any other question?
I don't have a question, ma. I just wanted to say something.
Okay, go on.
Haven't been learning BA since forever. I'm looking at it now that there really is similarity between data and business analysis because you mentioned the 5 W and 1 H, which is who, what, where, when, and how.
Yeah.
And it's also used as a business analyst. So I'm seeing the correlation now between all of this. And I see why some businesses are so particular about even a business analyst having the skills of data alongside.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. And a data analyst having skills of business analyst as well, it just helps you to be able to embody the role really well. Okay, because as a data analyst, if you are not just too focused on just data, and you are making yourself aware of the business in its entirety as well. The business, what are we about? I'm not just about their data alone. I also want to have a good industry knowledge, good business knowledge of how we are really doing it. It also helps your role as a data analyst, and it opens you up for even more opportunities that could arise within the business. If they are looking to create a new role, you know, encompassing the role of both business and data analyst just puts you in a good stead for that sort of information. So you are setting yourself up for really great opportunities ahead, although it may not seem like it yet, because you've had many, you know, a lot of knowledge, learning, you know, a lot of practice, a lot of action on business analyst side of things. Loads of it you have already. Okay, now using this, you know, alongside it is just gonna, when the time comes, you will not believe it. And that's the truth. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Do we have any other question or comment? If not, thank you so much, everyone. Who's helping us to record the class? I know we've got a
I did.
record.
I'll stop it now and then send you over.
Thank you very much, sis. Thank you.